Good evening, folks, and just make sure I turn the mic on because otherwise that's going to be a very short introduction. Yes, I did. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the stream. We are playing Pathfinder tonight, so dabbling with the joys of role-playing games, and we are going to be starting the Skulls and Shackles Adventure Path, which is one I've owned for years but I've never had a chance to run. And we are going to be telling tales of life on the high seas and piratical adventures. This means it's going to be slightly different from a bunch of roleplay groups in that the characters aren't inherent goodies and they're not necessarily going to be out to save the world. So it's going to be a little more morally grey than some other roleplaying groups might necessarily be. So please be prepared for some murder and raid and pillaging. We'll keep it as safe for work as possible because obviously we want everyone to watch the stream, not just people late at night and to watch us curse. And we'll try and curse like pirates rather than just like filthy scum. So with that said, I'm Simon. I'm going to be the GM for this, and we're going to run through the whole of the first module, and then depending on how the guys are enjoying it and how our audience are enjoying it, we'll see if we run the rest of the campaign. I can see we've got Kelzer in the chat already. Hello. So I'm going to hand you over to the crew, and they will introduce their characters, and then we get started. Adam, do you want to start us off?
Yes. I'm going to be playing Xanorin this evening, and for the length of the campaign, I'm a half-elf monk, so I've really got to toe the line. As you know, my morals have to be in the right place. I believe that pirating is good for me. It's I believe I want to venture. I want to seek adventure, but I want to do it in a moral way. I've got a past behind me where I had maybe rough edges, and being a monk and being a half elf meant that I spent a lot of time in the monastery, and I was just trying to find my center. I'm more of a trying to find focus. It's not about the religion for me, and seem to be leaning back towards piracy, but I think I can go and toe the line.
Walk the tightrope, as it were. Chris, how about you?
So tonight I will be playing Ralf. He is a dwarf ranger. Basically, this is his life. This was made for him. He likes to drink. He likes to kill. Doesn't like water, but he likes to be on the sea. So this is perfect for Ralf. So he's looking forward basically just to get his hands dirty. Let's go from there, really.
Excellent. And Sam?
I'll be playing a halfling rogue, female halfling rogue called Reya. She's neutral in alignment, came from a big family, so she knows basically how to roughhouse with all of her brothers and sisters from countless years of usual scrapping about. Due to her obviously being a halfling, she's quite small in stature, so she's quite sneaky with her ways due to her height and able to hide in areas.
Cool. And Ricky, we seem to have lost your camera, but while you're fixing that, you can tell us about who you'll be playing.
You haven't lost my camera. I wanted a surprise. I'm Asemarsh, Ocean Scream. I'm a half-orc barbarian who's made his living from fighting on the docks.
Nice.
So I can't keep it all held up all the way through, sorry, but I wanted to make
an entrance.
Make an entrance. So, and yeah, get your barbarians out on the chat. So I'm Asemarsh, Ocean Scream. I'm a half-orc fighter who's a fighter barbarian who's made a living from fighting on the docks and wherever this is going to lead. He's not particularly fond of the sea, but he'll go wherever the money is.
No worries. So as it happens, you guys had all made your ways under separate steam or sail, as the case may be, to a place called Port Peril in the region of Galarian known as the Shackles, which is a loose archipelago of islands. and you had made your way to a tavern, fallen to drinking, got chatting to each other, got chatting to some of the other ne'er-do-wells and other piratey types in the tavern, when you found that things got a little hazy. You'd been drinking some spiced rum. Someone had been telling you the joys of a chap by the name of Captain Barnabas. And the next thing you remember, you are waking up in the hold of a ship. Your heads are really quite hazy. It's worse than the worst hangover you've ever had. And if someone can give me a knowledge alchemy or craft alchemy or just a general intelligence check, you might know something else about your present predicament.
Roll?
Yep, so give us D20 plus your intelligence mod or relevant skill.
Oh man, I got no knowledge whatsoever.
Excellent.
Got 4 against my 14.
Okay, so D20 plus the intelligence modifier. So if you're 14, you've got +2. So D20 plus 2 gives you 6, yes? Or did you roll 2?
I rolled 4.
Cool, so your result is 6 in that case. Just so the stream know, it's been a long time since any of us have played Pathfinder, so if we're a little rusty on mechanics, apologies in advance.
I got 14.
14. So, Sam, as it happens, Reya has got a little bit of an idea what might have happened. You can taste a really sort of almondy, oily taste on your tongue, which you know to be a sign that you've been poisoned with oil of Taggart, a sleeping draught. And you guys have been press ganged. So, willy or nilly, you are aboard a ship without necessarily having chosen to join the crew. And as you come round, there is the crack of a whip. 6 pirates armed with saps flank a pirate who is looking all sorts of mean. I'll just give you a quick view of him by there. Cracking a whip as he comes down the steps into the hold. Still abed with the sun over the yardarm. On your feet, you filthy swabs. Get on the deck and report for duty before Captain Harrigan flays your flesh into sausage skins and has fish guts fry you up for breakfast. What do you want to do?
I don't consent to this.
Yeah. I want to speak to Life's manager.
Quick sort of taking stock of yourself, you realise that none of your possessions bar the clothes you're wearing or the armour you're wearing are upon you. Your coin purses are gone. Ricky, you subtly check and
you're naked.
The sewn pocket inside your armour they've missed. You've still got your brass knuckles in easy reach. But other than that, you guys are without anything. And these pirates look pretty mean. You are confronted by 2 humans, a half-orc, and a half-elf. In addition to this pirate, and there are also another 2 humans just slightly further back up the stairs, making the 6.
I would say it's probably a good idea not to get into a scrap with these lads.
Are you saying I can't take them?
Not saying you can't take them.
Gun for them.
I probably can't, and I want to make friends with these people, or at least find out what they want before I start sticking my swords into them, my hands into them.
Your hands. Fine. Okay.
Or a smash.
Okay, so no one's raising any overt resistance and making your way up onto deck. Okay, so you head up some stairs onto the middle deck of the ship, and from there climb a large slatted, what looks to be the ship's hatch, lowered into the hold, serving as sort of like a ladder come stair up onto the main deck. You notice to either side of you there are doorways off to other areas of the ship that you don't get a chance to have a look at. And from the middle deck you climb up onto the main deck, where there is a bunch of other people aboard. So there are 4 other seeming newcomers. There is a halfling, a human, both ladies, a male with a really bad scar on his face, and a gnome in a really fancy hat. They all look similarly new to the ship. You can tell because they're cleaner and a lot less ragged around the edges than the rest of the 20 or so mixture of human, half-elves, orcs, and there's a halfling or two amongst them as well on deck. There's two figures on the poop deck. Let's laugh about that now and then move straight on from it.
Poop.
That's the aft raised deck for those of you who are non-nautical in nature. So there is a broad, muscular man with a shaven head, long beard, bowed with gold rings and an eye patch, who's clearly the captain. And then the other is a balding man with a long black ponytail, who's wearing a long coat and carrying a well-worn cat o' nine tails. He looks like a slightly more dapper version of the guy who's just ushered you up from the hold. The captain waits a moment longer to make sure that everyone's up on board, and then addresses the queue. Glad you could join us at last. Welcome to the Wormwood. My thanks for volunteering to join my crew. I'm Barnabas Harrigan. That's Captain Barnabas Harrigan to you. Not the 11 need to address me. I only have one rule. Don't speak to me. I like talk, but I don't like your talk. Follow that rule, we'll get along just fine. Oh, and one more thing. Even with you new recruits, we're still short-handed, and I aim to keep what crew I have. There'll be a keel all in for anyone caught killing anyone. Mr. Plugg, if you'd be so kind as to make pirates out of these landlubbers, it'll save me having to put them to the sweatbox for a year and a day before I make pies out of them. And with that, he turns his back on you and stares off out to sea. Plugg, the balding chap with the ponytail, storms down from the deck. Right, swabs, let's see which of you are fit for what jobs. All of you, climb the rigging now. What do you want to do?
I think we're in a position to not. I mean, Sam, we might have to throw you up there.
Oh, I'm in no position to argue, so I'm just going to climb whatever the heck I'm being told to climb.
25.
Okay, yeah, if I can take a climb check from each of you, if you please.
Okay.
Yep.
If anyone's doing anything other than the required thing, please feel free to disagree, because you are more than welcome to do so.
Did you have to put a man called Plug on the poop deck?
Got 15 plus. Is it my modifier 5?
So yeah, your climb skill, your total climb skill mod.
I've got 5 plus my 15.
Just double checking. With on the character sheet, I got a tick on the climb. Does that mean I roll 2 d20s and go with the highest?
That is advantage, which is 5th ed. The tick means it's one of your class skills, which means it's already got a bonus factored into it when we set the characters up. So,
right, okay.
Which is why your numbers are probably higher. So, Ricky 25, Adam 20, Chris 18 was that? Sorry, you fuzzed out there.
Yes, yeah, 18.
And Sam, what was your roll?
I got a whopping 13.
13, cool. Okay, so you all hair off up the rigging as best as you can. The rigging, you look up, it's about 60 foot to the crow's nest, and your sort of first initial jumping to it as a goodly pirates, or at least people who don't want a beating, sends you about a quarter of the way up the rigging before you sort of pause for breath. You can see that you're outpacing the halfling and the human who were also amongst the new intake, as it were. But the gnome is keeping pace with you, Ricky. Adam's just behind you, Chris just behind you, and then Sam, not by any means bringing up the rear because you're ahead of the other two ladies, but yes, you are slower of your group. So yeah, you're a quarter of the way up the rigging. Can I have a second climb check, if you please? And if anyone wants to do anything different or change what they're doing, please let me know.
Just all jump.
Another 25.
I've got 16, including the modifier.
Yep.
I got 9.
Spider-Man dice is doing good today. I've rolled 2 18 in a row. Apart from that 2 that I rolled for intelligence earlier, but
Can't be as bad as mine, Sam.
Sam, what did you get total?
5.
Okay, it's bad.
I thought you'd critically failed then, Chris, the way you were saying it.
That's a gosh.
Well, if I've got it right, I rolled a 3 on a dice, but then I got a +2, so I'm assuming that's
You've got total climb ranks of 2, or did you not put any ranks into it and have just got the dexterity bonus?
I've got a total rank of 2.
Bonus, yeah, total.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
so
sorry, climb's strength based, isn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why.
I was hoping it was dexterity because I'd have been outrunning all of y'all.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Okay, so yeah, Ricky, you and Adam continue to shoot up the rigging like greased whippets. Chris, you look down from it, and 15 feet's already quite high for someone of short stature like yourself. And as you look down, Reya runs into the back of you, loses her grip, and goes backwards for a second off the rigging. Sam, could you make a reflex save, please?
Reflex. Man, I got too many things open. Right, okay. Reflex.
He's a lonely child.
Adam brings an element of 80s disco to
The problem is, anytime somebody's going to say something, I'm going to have a song stuck in my head.
Should have played a bard.
What thing would that use for reflex?
So
is it strength?
No, reflex is dexterity based, but it's a stat on the left-hand side of your sheet. So I'm just
right. So just go with the dex one, is it?
the reflex save. So just below your stat block, below your arm, the next box down, yeah, REF.
Right. Sorry, I was looking at the
+8 to your rolls. So you're reasonably good at that one.
Yeah, 23.
Okay, so yeah, you sort of run smack back into the middle of Ralph's backside, catch yourself, go off, manage to claw onto the rope and carry on. So, round the third. Climb checks again, if you please, as you continue to making your way up.
Feel me now. That's better.
Only 13 this time. I'm getting tired.
23.
22.
22. And Sam?
21 for me.
No worries. So you all continue to make good progress. Ricky, you and Adam are neck and neck now. You're both, the rigging's getting a bit narrower as you get towards the top. You're up in the top ropes. Chris, you're back on the way up, as are you, Sam, sort of following close behind. The gnome has passed both you and Sam. And Sam, he gives you a cheeky grin as he goes past. You're not sure if he's trying to flirt with you as he's climbing the ropes, but he's definitely got a bit of a rakish. His hat, if you imagine, is a big floppy sort of dandy's hat with a feather in the back. It's bright purple. He looks a sight.
I'm having that hat.
And somehow it's still on him.
He knows you, Sam. He knows you too well. He knows exactly what type of gnome you're looking for.
I want to send something on him.
Sam and Chris, as you are towards the back of the pack as well, you can hear rather than see the other halfling as she climbs the rigging, and she is swearing fit to make a docker blush, while the female human who's climbing up is muttering prayers under her breath to the pirate god of Besmara as she climbs. Cool. Round the fourth, climb checks for Ricky, Adam, Chris, and Sam, if you please.
Blimey, how tall is this thing?
60 feet.
24.
And you guys climb
22.
half your movement speed on average each round. Hello. We have
Hello there, Mark.
8.
Hello, Mark.
Sorry, Ricky, what was yours? I got
24.
Adam?
22.
And
I got a whopping 13 again. I'm not doing too well at this job.
Okay, Ralf again sort of gets a bit of the nerves as he's going up. He's it's getting quite. Do I have?
That's the smell.
Sam, you sort of pretty much scamper past him as you do and take yourself up. Ricky, you reach the crow's nest a hair's breadth ahead of Xanorin, so Asemarsh gets to the top first. Barbarian. And as you pull yourself up, Plugg shouts from the deck below, "Fine, you're a rigger, get on down here." And waits for the rest of you to join him at the bottom. So here's a handy little rule as well. So in Pathfinder, you can do a thing called take 10 on a skill check. So when you're not under pressure or in immediate danger, then you can assume that you rolled 10 on a skill. if you're under no sort of time pressure or bad stuff isn't going to terribly happen. So the journey back down, we can assume you guys are taking 10 because climbing rigging in smooth weather is a reasonably easy task for anyone who can vaguely climb. So you guys more gingerly make your way back down, but still come. If you were in a storm, you'd probably still have to roll it and couldn't take 10. But if you're doing something that you could do within bounds of competence, take 10 is sort of like the do it slow but steady, but do it right method. So that one will probably serve you well for other skills other than climb as well as we go through. So just worth reminding, because it's one I always forget to remind groups about, and I actually bothered to read up on it this time, so I know what I'm doing with that. Cool. Okay, so you make it back down to the deck. And yeah, Ricky, you and also the gnome who he refers to as Shortstone, says, right, you two are riggers. You'll join Barefoot Toppins and the rest in the ropes each day. The rest of you, can any of you cook?
In real life.
I know he can.
Yeah. So
you pointed at Adam.
Hey, thank you very much, Kelsa, for subscribing.
I don't think I can. No, Chris,
So
if you couldn't.
If any of your characters have the profession cook or survival skills, will also let you more sort of campfire cooking than anything else. But
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm trying to find myself a mascot out of my Lego guys, and all I can find is a guy who looks like a giant corn. So I guess I'm going with that. That's gonna be me now.
Okay, legit mascot.
We'll have to get you a Krillin.
Yes. I do have bald guys here, but they're all scientists, and it just doesn't seem to work. So
Yeah, I have to build one between sessions. Right,
Yeah.
so yes.
Hey guys, do you hear? I'm a ringer.
Rigger, you
Rigger.
fool. Rigger, you fool. Right, so yeah, Plug's still waiting for an answer. He's sort of starting to tap the cat nine tails, menacingly on his hand. So
I can cook.
Take a
Fine.
hit, Chris.
You dwarf.
I can cook.
You're in the galley.
That's
with
exactly
fish
what you want to do in a fantasy world, isn't it, Chris?
guts. Do your day job.
Go back in the kitchen. Get out of in real life, come back into here. Yes.
Right. Get yourselves below to the middle deck and find fish guts. He's probably drunk already, but you'll be working with him for the rest of this voyage. You two,
Fish guts.
you're useless. You're swabs. You'll be working with the rest of the swabs, scrubbing decks and doing whatever I say. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
I like the half-elf. He might not die immediately. Right, get yourselves
Who knows?
ready for some work then. You guys, the way the shipboard life is going to work is each day you'll get a task depending on the role you've just qualified for. And then each day you've got time to do a couple of shipboard actions. So one in the day, one in the night. And those actions can be, you can either choose to work diligently on the task you've been assigned for the day, which will give you a bonus to doing any tasks you've got. You can use your sort of leisure time to try and influence a member of the crew to try and get them more on your side and friendly, or to sort of try and get information out of people. You can use the sort of leisure time you have to try and sneak around the ship and quickly explore an area of the ship to try and get some more information about the places you're not really supposed to be. There's a couple of other options that will come as well. Or so you work diligently, try and influence people, sneak or shirk. And by shirking, you sort of take less time doing your job than you should do, making your daily task a little harder, but it lets you take 10 on a perception check to explore a section of the ship. So speaking of the section of the ship, I'm just going to quickly bung a map into the Pathfinder chat on Discord, and then I'll share it up with the stream in just a moment.
Just double checking now. What's my job now with the ship? It's
so
just general.
You and Adam, so Reya and Xanorin have been swapped, general deckhand.
We can see that.
You can see that on the stream, right? That's fine. It'll have to be that way for a second.
Just in case there's anything.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. So where did I put it?
It's just the Pathfinder stuff, so.
Oh no, it's everywhere. There we are. Boom, boom, boom. Right. so that's there, and then stream instead. Whoops, go back to the right thing in Discord so you can see our pretty faces instead. Stream gets that for a second. So that's the ship you guys are aboard. Currently, you are on the main deck, and you've just climbed the rigging by the main mast, which is right in the centre of the ship. The obviously poop deck is area A5. Area A4 is the foredeck, and also some. Sorry, in fact, A1 and A2 are the poop, and so the foredeck and poop deck respectively. And then A4 and 5 are cabin areas which you can't see into because those doors are closed. The A3 is the area where you climbed up the hatches down into the main deck below, and then the stairs there take you down to the lower deck, which is where you guys woke up. You haven't yet had a chance to have the joys of the bilges, but some of you will, I'm sure, in just a moment. So for those of you off the stream, sorry, those of you participating, you've now got that on your PC, so you can access it whenever, and I'll probably bring it back up and down for the stream as they need it. So we need to bring some dice into it. So Ricky, you are assigned rope work. So your job is basically going to be tying and retying ropes and moving different bits of the rigging around and generally making sure the knots are fast and things like that today. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you for a difficulty 10 profession sailor check, or if you haven't got that skill, just a straight out dexterity check.
Just a straight up what check?
Straight up dexterity check.
Okay.
So the only important thing is if you fail by 5 or more. If you pass it brilliantly, if you fail by 5 or more, bad stuff might happen. Sam, you are assigned to man the bilges, so you and also.
You've gone quiet today.
I've gone quiet. Sorry, am I?
Oh, you're back now.
I'm back now. So just looking away from things. Yeah. So Sam, you and a slightly more experienced pirate who introduces himself as Jack are sent down to the bilges to man the bilge pumps and keep the vessel from flooding with water. It is hard and sweaty work. It's really hot down in the sort of bowels of the ship. So I'm going to need from you a difficulty 12 strength check. Adam, you are also sent down to the bilges, actually, so you'll be doing the same thing. So Jack is supervising the two of you. He tells you that his name's Jack Scrimshaw, and you can see his dagger handle is carved whalebone. His belt buckle is ornately carved. He's clearly an expert whittler and scrimshaw artist. He seems reasonable going as a pirate, but he's also relatively firm with the instructions. Ricky, up in the ropes, you're up with the foppish gnome who introduced himself as Conquer by Shortstone. I'm Conquer by Shortstone. I'm on this ship too. Soon I'll be the captain, I'm sure. Then you bow to me, right?
Only if you give me that hat.
Oh, I can sell you the hat for a price. What's that? You have no gold. Oh, these things happen when you come on a ship. But I'm sure you talk to Grok the Cutthroat. She maybe gets some of your things back. You talk her nicely, yeah? Anyway, we have work to do. You're also...
I rolled a 20, so...
20, cool. So, yeah, you comport yourself, although you're not really sure what you're doing. You're starting to pick it up quickly enough that you don't get any hassle from the other riggers who join you in the rigging. So there's a male halfling you haven't previously seen. And then also a very, very cross-looking human who is introduced to you by the halfling as Mahim. And then a whip-thin human female who doesn't speak to you at all. She can clearly talk because she grunts a couple of things at the others, and everyone seems to be anxious to keep her happy. You've seen her sort before on the docks. She is what you'd call sort of a natural killer. You wouldn't want to get on the wrong end of her, and you can see that she's got a pair of really quite pointy stilettos rather than sort of more practical daggers tucked in her waistband. The halfling introduces himself as Ratline. and he's missing 3 fingers on his left hand. He tells you that's a sort of pointed lesson of not to grab a rope in a storm. Yes, so Sam and Adam, can I get your strength checks, if you please? Or no, in fact, they were just strength checks. So difficulty 12, so you're rolling D20 plus your strength bonus.
15 from me.
The bonus is in the mod, right?
Yep.
I got 12 plus 1 then.
Cool. Perfect. So again, you guys comport yourself to Jack Scrimshaw's satisfaction. And you spend a hot, sweaty most of the day manning the pumps and things. You guys do notice there seems to be an awful lot of cobwebs or spider webs around the bilges, and even with the pumps working, you guys are like ankle deep in water at the best of times.
When you say ankle deep, how deep are we?
My ankles or her ankles?
Good point. Yeah, so Adam's ankles, your knees. Yes.
Because I'm like 2'7".
Yeah, you're probably knee height on those. Yeah, so you're, I don't know if any of your characters particularly don't like spiders, but there are definitely some active spider webs up there. And Jack sort of gives on, watch out for the bilge spiders. They do get bitey if the weather gets choppier. So the bilges have also got barrels and various other sort of detritus and boxes and things in as well. That it might be prudent to explore at a later point. Which takes us to you, Chris, who are vaguely led, vaguely shoved below to area A8 on the map, which is the galley. So let me just bring that map back up for the benefit of the players. So there we are. So you come down to the main deck, and I'm just wondering, people can't see. Can I? No, I can't on the map. Okay, so you come down on the main deck into the middle deck to A6. You head aft down the ship through this doorway here into the galley. You can see the door into A9 is currently closed, and it bears the sign Quartermaster's Store. And then there's another door through to area A7, which is also closed currently. In the galley, which is a really filthy looking place. So there's 2 wooden work tables, several wooden cupboards, 2 small stoves against the port wall, a really impressive but frightening array of meat cleavers, 3 chickens, 2 goats, and a pretty sodden and quite portly human male who introduces himself as Fish Guts. I'm the cook. I'm
like a normal day in the kitchen.
Yes, sounds like another day in the kitchen. Let's just drop that map for a second. He is clearly 3 sheets to the wind already. He's a big red nose, bottle of rum in his hand. You can see that over on the starboard wall there is a big ton barrel of rum, which is where the ship's rations would be coming from later on. He explains as he's sort of walking you through your you'll be cooking today because I'd be too drunk to cook myself. So yeah, good, because the captain wants goat tonight, right? Get on it. An orc lady comes.
So you get to cook him instead.
Orc lady comes through the doorway you've just come through. She is tall and rangy and wears a battle axe strapped across her back. Her neck has previously been slit from here to here and is sort of a mass of scar tissue. And she nods to Fish Guts, and Fish Guts greets her. Grok, you all right? Drink? Later, Fish Guts. And she goes through to the Quartermaster's Store. And as you can open up, you can see there are a bunch of lockers in there, which look to be storage areas, and she's sort of rooting through and sorting bits out in there. So, Chris, could you give me a profession cook check at difficulty 10, or a straight intelligence check if you don't have the skill?
I don't have it. There we go. 2.
Okay. This is
Goodbye, dice.
Yeah, dice.
Hello,
and dice person. So this is a bit different than sort of the campfire cooking you're used to. And although the goat happily was already butchered, you sort of burn the first few first few bits of thing. You start going, and Fish Guts gets increasingly more belligerent and drunk and basically makes your job entirely harder, which probably explains why you make such a burnt mess of it. You get something looking like food in the end, but it's very much char grilled on the accidental scale of char grilled. And
flavor.
You're sure
burnt, it's caramelized.
You're sure the crew will enjoy it later on. In fact, while you're doing that, a scrawny young lass, maybe no more than 12 years old, comes down the stairs into that cabin. And Fish goes, "Oh, coffee, you're here for the captain's food? All right, plate it up for the lass. She'll take it up to the captain's office now. They dine together, right? It's probably a bit early, but you plate it up." So as you're dishing out food for her, you notice that she tastes each plate of food as she picks it up before carrying them all back up the stairs. She gives you quite a, "Are you trying to poison them?" But no, this is just disgusting look as she wanders up the stairs.
Not at all.
Cool. So that's
first day on the job.
That's sort of how your first day's work goes. And as I say, you've now got in fact, from the next day, we'll do what's your planned action before we get into what your jobs are. But yeah, so what's your plans on the first day's activities, as it were? What you trying?
I want to go and see that guy about getting my stuff back.
Righty-ho. So, have we had you make your check yet?
What, on
the rigging check? Yeah, professional sailor.
Yeah, I rolled a 20.
That's cool. No, so to sneak off to the shop or to the quartermaster's store during work time would normally give you a penalty on your checks, and again, we'll be doing that correctly from the next day because I got ahead of myself before explaining all things. So you sort of get a brief 5 minutes to head below decks. You sort of come through, see Ralf hard at work over the stove, burning goat merrily.
Smells good, mate.
Yes, sticking your head.
Papa loves it. He loves his stuff.
Sticking your head through the door, you can see that the quartermaster is. In fact, she's closed the door behind her, and the door's got like a 2-foot square serving hatch in it. So she's opened it back up and is sort of leaning on it, waiting for people to come away. New blood, what do you want?
The guy with the fancy hat told me that I could ask you for my stuff back.
Your stuff isn't your stuff. It's the captain's booty now. Of course, on a pirate ship, everything has its price.
All right. What do you want?
What do you want back?
My axe.
Oh, that's going to cost you a good 50 gold pieces. But I'm not.
Okay, you'll need to give me my gold back first, then.
Give you the captain's gold? I couldn't do that.
Not captain's gold, my gold.
It's not your gold anymore, boy. Tell you what, I'm a sporting sort. She reaches into. You notice the second locker. As a route around, pulls out a gold coin, flips it your way. Call it an investment stake. See what you make of that. I'm sure you'll manage to find some people to gamble with this evening. See if you can earn yourself some money to come back. Of course, if you find anything worth my time, I'm happy to trade. But it's not town now, boy. Okay, Sam, anything you and Adam want to try in the villages? So you've got the option to try and influence using the diplomacy, bluff, or intimidate skills, skirmish or jack while you're working with him, or you can sneak off and try and explore somewhere else if you fancy. But because it's such hot and heavy work down there, although you guys perform admirably in doing your job, I will need a constitution save for you. Sorry, not constitution save, constitution check. So D20 plus your con modifier, and you're looking for 10 or more.
Okay. Damn, 5. I've got a modifier on Constitution, so it's just a straight 5.
And for yourself, Sam?
5.
Excellent. Okay, so you guys are unused to such particularly hard physical labour. Yeah, you're sort of used to sort of working out in the monastery. You're used to sort of running around, sort of avoiding people you might have robbed. But this is
where there's air,
yeah,
where air is found.
Where there's air, it's like lifting weights in a sauna. This is. So you guys become fatigued. So basically, the results of that condition are while that is in effect, you have a -2 penalty to your strength and dexterity scores, and you can't run or take the charge action if combat happens. That condition will last for easily the rest of the day, and if you happen to do something else that invokes the fatigue condition again, that then upgrades to an even worse condition called exhausted. So something to be aware of. If you're basically, because you're taking a -2 penalty on those, your modifiers for strength and dexterity drop by 1 temporarily. So while you're fatigued, you're 1 less good on your modifiers and all relevant skills that use those abilities.
Okay.
Yeah. So what would you guys like to do with your actions?
Well, we don't want to be going. Go on.
I was going to say I'm quite intrigued about his knife and how he managed to acquire it.
Right, yeah, I don't think we can go digging around for spiders at the moment, just in case.
Oh no, I'm trying. I think because I'm like really knackered right now. I just want to try and make some small talk and get to know Jack a bit better.
No problem.
Let's see if we can bamboozle him together.
Yeah, Sam. He chats away to you, and you sort of start to break down his reservations. He explains that the knife is one he picked up last time they were in Port Royal, and he's carved the handle himself. So he's always like to whittle, and he sort of digs around, sort of stops his work for a minute, lights a fag, and sort of pulls out from his sort of pouch a really fine little set of intricate carving tools. So yeah, I'm sure I can show you the basics if you're really interested. But it takes a while explaining sort of proudly how he's done things, and you can see sort of he's carved a narwhal into the handle. So Sam, could you give me a bluff or diplomacy check, your choice, and you're going to see if your making nice and pleasant chit-chat manages to sway him into more your camp.
Okay, so that's going to be charisma. I'll do diplomacy.
Okay.
I love these dice. It's going to be a 4 for me.
A 4. Okay.
I have social skills on point tonight.
Yeah, you come across as a bit sort of over eager, and he's just like a little way into the conversation. He sort of starts backing up and like, "You're a bit overkey. Why are you looking at my? Stop looking at my dagger," and gets back to work and sort of encourages you back to it. Adam, for yourself, what are you thinking? While
Can I just look around the bilge area of the ship, just poke around a bit casually, just see if there's anything interesting in arm's reach?
Yeah, no problem. Give us a perception check, then, if you please.
My perception. Can't see where my perception is. What the heck? Oh, that's bad, isn't it?
Halfway
Can't see where your perception is.
Halfway down your skills list, alphabetically by P.
What's your character's name?
Steve.
Okay, so not Steve, but Adam actually rolled a 1 on perception. Is it alphabetical order?
Oh yeah. No, sorry. I know. I just realized I was looking in my main skills, not my actual skills. I was looking at my attacks and defenses like a moron. Okay, so do I naturally lose one there for that? So I got 8. So I'm rolling, right?
Yeah.
I got 15 plus the 8 rank.
Cool. So yeah, you're pretty well aware of your surroundings, and you sort of have a good poke around while you're doing it. So most of your work has been done near the stern of the ship because that's where the bilge pumps are. But you notice that the fore section of the bilges seems to double as a makeshift brig for the ship. So there are six sets of manacles fitted to the bulkhead, and they're sort of separated off from the aft section by this sort of aforementioned pile of crates and such like. And in one of the sets of manacles is a human who is looking pretty badly sort of beaten up, dressed like a pirate, looks like a pirate, gold earring, gold tooth.
Smells like a pirate.
In fact, no gold earring anymore, but space in his ear where a gold earring probably was. And he's, sort of slumped against his manacles.
Someone didn't hit him hard enough.
And is there. Let's just have a quick look. Okay, your luck is in. You do also notice while you're looking over this poor unfortunate who seems sort of passed out from the heat at the moment, that a spider about the size of your fist sort of scuttles into a web just above him and out of sight.
I'm going to decide it's the size of his fist.
Makes you feel better about it. Chris, for yourself then, your daily action. What's your...
I want to have a look around the kitchen in the cupboards, see what's about.
No problem.
This is called a crematorium from now on.
Can I also have a perception check from you then? While I can find the list of stuff.
Come on, die. 7.
7 total or
7
plus?
7 total.
Cool.
Yeah.
There is a lot of stuff in here. I mean, you have a look around. The first thing you notice is that once again the 3 goats who are still alive have gnawed their way through the ropes that they were tied up. So you sort of spend 10 minutes tying them back to where they're at. The chickens don't seem to ever be in their cage, and one of them is now sitting on Fishgut's head, who as he sort of slurs and sings to himself. There's spice racks, huge different array of those. There's in fact, it turns out 2 big barrels of rum. One is buried under a big pile of other stuff. Sort of looking through a couple of the cupboards, ship's biscuit and salted beef. The few fresh vegetables lurking in a corner. There are, as I say, tons and tons and tons of meat cleavers and things. But there's literally so much mess. If you imagine like a hoarder's kitchen, it's like that, but worse with live animals. You're sort of barely finding enough space, and you've already had to sort of abandon any notions you had of sanitary to even vaguely prepare the meal. And being that you're cooking for like 25 people, the crew obviously aren't getting quite such a nice thing. It's sort of leftover bits of the goats turned into a curry, which it's hard to find anything. You're sure there is some good stuff potentially in here, but you need to spend a lot more time looking and less time trying to actually do the job.
Making things.
About 3/4 of the way through the day, Grok comes out and she's got a big bucket, and she sort of nods to Fishguts and says, "Just here for the rum ration. We'll be taking it up on deck for after the bloody hour." And sort of Chris, she, without cruelty, elbows you out of the way. She is a big, strong half-orc, and she's not taking anyone getting in her way, and
likes you, Chris.
Yeah, she just shoves you to one side.
Likes my cooking.
Scoops up a bucket full of rum and a ladle and heads for the top deck. At which point the ship's bell rings, and Fishguts stumbles to say, "That's the bloody hell, we better get up top or we'll be for a rope bash. Come on, you." And the rest of you, your various work parties are sort of hastening to get to deck. So do any of you have, none of you have profession sailor as a skill yet, do you?
No.
No, you are keen but not accomplished sailors, which is perfect for this.
I got swim.
Yeah. So you've got no idea what's coming next, other than the fact that everyone else seems to be in a hurry to get down to the deck. Captain's not present, but Mr. Plugg is. In fact, no, sorry, the captain is present for this. Ignore me while I just flip to the right page. This is why I did all the other prep, so it wasn't too much. Right, yes. So, one of the other pirates, a lady who introduces herself as Shikfa, a human warrior, clearly from the Mwangi Delta by her accent, whispers sort of to a couple of you who you stood next to, pay attention. This is where Captain and Plugg, the first mate, will administer justice for any crimes committed. This should convince you to follow their orders as much as you can. Yeah, and the guy that you saw, Adam, in the bilges is hauled up on deck.
Okay.
And the captain's like, Mr. Plugg, read the charges. Crewman Magpie, sir. Caught stealing. Again. Keel all him. And Jakes is tied with a rope, and then Mr. Plugg, with great relish, pushes him off the ship, and the rope is hauled to drag him under the keel of the boat. It takes about a minute and a half to bring him round, and sort of a few of the crew are sort of peering over the side eagerly. You'd guess perhaps people had had stuff nicked by Jakes in person. A few of the newer recruits, you notice the halfling who was swearing a lot earlier. She looks a bit green at the thought of this. The lady who hasn't had a chance to be introduced yet, who was praying earlier on, actually loudly sort of utters a prayer in the name of Besmara, but in a sort of almost condoning, the captain's justice is right, but you get the impression that she's committing the guy's soul to the sea rather than supporting the captain in the way she says it. And yeah, about a minute and a half later, what was Jake's is dragged up on deck, and it is a bloody mess. He's been torn to ribbons by the barnacles on the bottom of the boat, but he's not moving when he comes up, so he's clearly dead or drowned before he's even arrived. So Plugg goes over. You can see he's really enjoyed that. It's perfect. Yeah, he hasn't had to use his whip, but he's totally enjoyed dragging this poor guy under the boat. Gives the corpse a kick, feed it to the sharks, and the woman you saw up in the rigging earlier on, Ricky, and the scowling bloke pick up the bloody corpse and just unhitch from the rope and pitch over the side, and within moments there's a frenzy of activity in the water. Right, get your rum rations and your dogs, and then be about your leisure. Ship's bell in the morning, we're well underway.
I report the theft of my stuff.
Who are you reporting it to?
Yeah, do it to the captain.
Well, they just said that it's like because he stole stuff. I've had stuff stolen from me.
Who are you reporting it to?
I guess the captain.
Oh no!
Right,
let's all watch this, guys. Let's see what happens here.
Sit back and enjoy.
Head up towards the captain's desk. The rest of you from where you are, you can just hear the collective intake of breath from the crew. Ricky, what do you want to say to the captain?
I want to report a theft.
Okay, the captain backhands you. What's your armor class, Ricky?
13.
Okay, it's particularly unexpected because you're expecting him to at least report. He doesn't even look at you, and his aim is really good. So he is. You take 8 points of non-lethal damage, as basically he just pitches you end over end back down the steps to the main deck. And conversationally, he just says to Mr. Plugg, "I told these idiots not to speak to me. Discipline him." Stick them in the sweatbox. I'll have none of it. Miss Plug's like, aye, Captain. How long? Oh, an hour will do. An hour will do. And Plug turns to you. Right. Which part of don't speak to the captain didn't you understand? You're coming with me. What do you want to do?
For goodness sake, just don't. Just go take a sweat in the sauna.
Oh, he can't. He can't do it.
He's been proper slapped into the 7 heavens.
I'm gonna have to go with him because I've only got 4 hit points left.
Oh no!
Okay, yeah, your sort of face is streaming. He's probably broken your nose with that punch, and you're sort of surprised by quite how you thought you were good and fast. And yeah, if you'd have faced him in a dockside brawl, you're still not sure whether you would have taken him. He's clearly an experienced fighter as this captain. But yeah, Plugger none too gently pushes you over towards the centre of the decks, where against the 4 bulkheads next to the doors of the cabin, there is a large metal box. And yeah, he tosses you unceremoniously in. You have to crouch down as the lid is closed down, and it smells pretty foul. It already feels quite warm in here from the day's heat.
I still want to pull him in with me.
The good news is you're on
Why?
towards the end of the day, so it's
That's a bit weird.
It's not as bad as it could be. But if I can get you, Ricky, to make a fortitude save for me.
Just think of it
You're
this
looking
way,
at
it's going to be great
15.
for your pores. Really cleansing.
17.
Okay, so it is really hot and uncomfortable in there, but you grin and bear it, and after an hour, which we'll come back to in a minute, you'll be hauled out of there. For the rest of you, we are now onto the leisure time portion of the day. So although Ricky doesn't get one because he's already in the sweatbox, Cutthroat Rock, who is the ship's quartermaster, the Half-Orc that some of you have already interacted with, stands at the top of the hatch, and everyone lines up to take their rum ration. For those of you that didn't already have a tankard, you're slung a dirty-looking leather cup, and she pours what looks to be about half a pint of rum into each of your cups. Now drink up, and no complaining. And then
Put hairs in your eyeballs.
really well. And then you guys are gonna, once you've drunk your rum, unless you particularly don't want to drink it, in which case we'll talk about that in just a moment, you're going to get the option to take a nighttime ship action as the crew relax for the evening, and then you've got the option of sort of trying to overtax yourselves and sneak about in the night to take more actions if you want to. So who's drinking their rum, who's not?
I'll save my rum.
I'll drink it.
Okay.
It's hot in that kitchen.
You don't want to get some more chef ass in it.
It's to forget the chef's ass.
You're at cremation level at the moment for cooking. You don't want to get so pickled that it's now, burning the ship down. We need the ship.
It makes it better. A drunk chef is a better chef.
Okay.
Okay. So Chris, you not necessarily down the rum, but drink it within sort of the same sort of speed that most of the crew seem to be going through it. Can you give me a fortitude save, please? Looking at difficulty 5.
20 hit, so 23.
Cool, no worries. So you chug your rum. You're feeling pretty good. You've not had too bad a day of it, despite the strangeness of the surroundings. You gain a temporary bonus of 4 to your charisma, which functionally gives you a +2 to your charisma modifier.
Gonna charisma the hell out of those chickens.
That is going to last for a little while. But the bad news is you take 2 points of damage to your constitution.
Oh, no, that's
strong rum.
Yeah.
Sam and Adam, drinking or trying to dispose of the rum?
That's going to be not.
I'm going to see if I can pass it on to somebody else for an exchange for something else.
Okay, there doesn't seem to be any other drinks on offer. So
I'll give it to Sam.
It's in it and give it to the captain.
Wow. Shut up, Ricky. Enjoy your sweating.
So, Sam, what are you doing?
Okay, now I've got Adam's drink as well.
Yeah.
Not yet. You haven't. So you need to decide about yours first before.
I'm probably going to save it for the time being, to be honest.
Okay, so you guys are sort of fiddling around with your drinks, and a few of the other pirates gather around. So, again, another gnome, not the foppish one that you noticed earlier, but far more piratical in the rough and ready sense of it. Looking like he's only got one eye. He's looking pretty well battered, and the typically gnomish pale skin, but looking like a proper pirate. Nudges a female human. Here, Tilly, Giffer. Looks like these new swabs don't like rum. What, we got teetotalers? We'll soon get into them. Plus, I hear they'll get a rope bash if they don't drink it. They're sort of swigging theirs. Yeah, want to take a bet, Tilly? I bet you a gold piece that this here halfling passes out before she drinks hers. You're on, Giffer. What do you want to do?
I'll take that bet.
Shut up.
Oh, okay. Well, considering I've got like a half pint and it's a pint to me, then I'm going to have to try and drink it, aren't I?
Half pint.
Okay, you set to with a will. Can I get a fortitude save from you then, if you please?
Fortitude save. Sure. 11.
Cool. And then, likewise, you start to get merry on the rum. Perhaps not quite as a sort of well away with it as Chris, who seems to be getting quite into the spirit of the party. So you gain a 1 point temporary bonus to your charisma, which will basically, if you've got an odd numbered charisma, it will result in a bonus increase. If you've got an even number charisma, it won't do you anything. So you'll have 1 point increase to your charisma modifier if you're odd numbered score. Adam, what about you? And and you also take 1 point of constitution damage.
Constitution damage. Okay. Oh wow, my constitution is now 8.
Can I please ask what a rope bashing will entail, or would that incur a rope bashing?
Give a chuckles. He's learning fast as half out, even if he looks to be a bit of a pansy on the drinking. Rope bash is literally that, mate. See one of those big ship's lines? And he points to a piece of rope as thick as your arm. Mr. Plugg will give you a whap with that if you don't behave. One if you've only been a bit wussy or a bit naughty. Few if you've been more like it. If you really upset him though, he'll bring the cat out.
You get to play with a cat.
I get to play with a cat. You hit me with a rope, and I get all my fetishes. I'll swig the rum.
Okay, same thing for you then. Fortitude save, and see how you go.
17 plus my 2 modifier.
Cool. And then again, you having drunk it, you actually find yourself relaxing into it slightly. A temporary bonus of 3 to your charisma and 2 constitution damage.
I put that in misc.
Yeah, it's not going to be around for long enough to make it a permanent addition to the sheet.
I want that.
Cool. So we are on to your nighttime actions then. So options for yourselves as characters, and Ricky, you're pulled out of the sweatbox after a measly hour, and you can hear a couple of the pirates. Oh, Captain must like that one. He didn't kill him. But yeah, you're sort of pulled out and handed your rum as well. But your options are going to be you can head for bed as soon as you've got rid of your rum. That will end your nightly actions, but will also completely remove the fatigue condition as well as go some way towards getting rid of any ability damage you've incurred. You can get involved with the gambling, and the pirates seem to be sort of breaking up into groups. Some are arm wrestling, some appear to be playing a complicated complicated game involving chucking what looks to be like a weighted greased pig skin around the deck. And then some more have settled down some pretty serious drinking. And you notice that Grok has left the 3/4 empty bucket of rum on the desk for anyone who wants more. You can do more of the sort of spade work of trying to get to know and influence the crew, or as it's sort of getting on later in the day, you can take the fact that the crew are distracted to take a bit more time exploring an area of the ship. Or if you're feeling really brazen, you can, if you find something,
talk to the captain again.
Well, yeah, or if you find something locked. Or,
I don't think you heard me the first time.
Your armor class is how many teeth you've lost as well.
You can try and break into things if you particularly fancy it. So yes, Ricky, are you drinking your rum, or are you?
Yeah, I'll drink your rum.
Cool. Same thing for you then. Fortitude save, and then you get some.
Eight.
Okay.
I guess I'm a bit tired from the stupid hole.
You are. So again, you've ended up with a temporary 3 bonus to your charisma and 2 constitution damage. And yes.
Did I get any? Sorry, I talked over you a moment ago. Did I get any negatives to the?
Yes, you also had 2 constitution damage. Cool. So yes, who wants to go first on some night?
How much on my 3 on my charisma?
Yeah, temporary +3 to your charisma.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? So gambling, or if you fancy, you can try and entertain some of the crew. If any of you play instruments or sing or anything like that, you can try and ingratiate them that way. And then once you've each done one of those nighttime actions, you've got the option of using additional actions with the chance to become even more tired, to do late night sneaking around and or trying to influence people as the day progresses, if you particularly fancy it. But we'll start with an initial one first, because it's been a hard first day's pirating.
Yeah.
So who do we start with this time? Sam, what do you think Reya's fancies doing in the evening's leisure?
I don't know. I kind of want to steal that hat. Oh, what?
So they sing us a song.
Do you think I can sing a song?
Of course you can sing. It's the rum.
I mean, I could try. I'm going to try and nick that gnome's foppish hat, I think, because it's annoying me to heck and back.
Sure.
Oh, I want that hat too.
You both want to get your hands on the gnome for different reasons. Sure.
I just want to get rid of that hat. And he looked at me weird climbing earlier.
Okay, so what's your plan for that then, Sam? He's currently engaged in sort of a chit chat and rum drinking with the lady cleric, you assume, who you've seen earlier on. Sort of leaning up against the rail, leaning towards her quite a bit as if he's quite intimate towards her. But in fact, have you got the sense motive skill on your
yes, I do.
Cool, give us a sense motive check.
Okay. Oh boy, are we ready? Because I got a -2 on my modifier. We got 7.
7. Okay, yeah, they're sort of not quite kutched, but yeah, sort of chatting away further down the deck. So what's your plan of action? He's still wearing his hat. It's tilted back at a jaunty angle as he looks up at the somewhat tall lady.
Because, like, a gnome, isn't it? So he's going to be a bit taller than me, isn't he?
Marginally.
Okay. So I want to try and, like, sneak up and try and lift the hat off him. Or try and, like, whack the hat off his head.
Okay,
that sort of thing.
Yeah, so sort of policeman.
Accidentally.
No problem. give me a combat maneuver check. So you've got this combat set called CMB, which is combat maneuver bonus. If you want to give us a quick roll for
that. CMB, so to attack, is it?
well, sort of to attack. Yeah, we're using that to simulate how well this goes. You're sneaking up on him and whacking his hat off.
Okay, I got 12.
Cool. Yeah, you sort of bustle up behind him. He's not really paying attention. As you get closer, you can see that the lady is grimacing somewhat at whatever he's just said. And you, sort of give him a smack upside the back of the head, and the hat comes off. It doesn't go over the rail as you're hoping it might do.
Does it come near me?
But yeah, no, it tumbles off to one side, and he's like, "Hey, what are you playing at? I'm talking to a beautiful lady. My apologies. Sure, you don't like that? I put the hat in the bag. And how are you doing anyway? Were you enjoying your first day on the crew?"
That didn't go the way I wanted it to.
Oh,
As soon as he starts talking to you, the other lady gives you a wink and just leaves.
Oh no! Don't go!
And yeah,
this is how we make half gnomes.
And yeah, he turns on a full-on charm offensive. He clearly thinks he is all there is to be in the arts of gnomely lovin', and yeah, he's trying for all he's worth to seduce you, or at the very least convince you of his importance and wiles.
Just responding to the chat, Mark. That is both a car and a holiday, but the holiday is in the car. You don't get to choose whose car it is either.
And the car's a Hot Wheels one.
Yes.
While we're at that, then, Chris, what's your nighttime action?
I want to get to know fish guts.
Cool. Okay.
That sounds so wrong.
Right. So
is this the love boat? Are we on the love boat?
Maybe.
And the holiday is to May Hill as well.
I'm going to be working with this guy very closely. I just want to see what he's like.
Yeah, no problem. So you
What makes him
cast around. He's not on deck.
Okay.
And you head back down below. Can you make a perception check for me as you go?
Perception.
Because there are a lot of steps.
Oh, what's with me? 6.
Okay, no worries. You find both him and Cutthroat Grok in their cabin, which is the other door that leads off of the galley. So the one door, bring that back up so the stream can see what we're talking about. There we are. So the one door leading to Area A9 is Grok's store, and Area A7 is the cabin shared by Grok and Fishguts as the sort of support staff of the ship, as it were. So they're both sat on their respective bunks, swigging rum, and both are clearly plastered. You can get involved with the drinking and sort of get chatting.
I want to join them. Yeah.
Cool. Can you give us a diplomacy check, then, if you please?
No.
No, I can't.
14.
14.
14.
It's above 10.
It's above 10. This is good for say. Cool. Yeah, you spend a reasonable amount of time chatting away with them before they both become pretty much too insensible to make any more sense and sling you out of the cabin.
Any more insensible? Fishguts.
He seems to have rallied slightly over the course, but so yeah, he's sort of stumbling his way through, and sort of Grok gets up to use the head for a while, and he sort of tells you it's poisoned this ship, but don't let anyone hear you say it. The hull listens, see, and the captain hears it all. Poison the Wormwood is, rotten to the core. You'll not meet a more nasty, sour piece of work than Captain Harrigan in all your days at sea. As a crew's the same, especially the first mate, Mr. Plugg. He's a vicious sod, he is. He'd take his own mother's liver to the butcher, make pies with it, you would. But they leave me alone, most of them. They know I can't harm Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't make what I was going to do next sound very, very enticing.
Cool. And
We're going to go speak to the captain again.
No, I wasn't.
Yep. You think you're getting on his good side. He's certainly sort of responds pleasantly enough for someone you've just met, and you think he's sort of realizes you're going to do your best to help him and possibly give him more time to drink. So he seems to be happy with that. Ricky, then, what's your plans for your first action?
Okay, so I'm going to find someone who looks friendly.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask them, yeah.
You steal my stuff.
No, I know where my stuff is. I met the quartermaster.
And then the captain.
Hoping, yeah, and the captain. I'm hoping for a specific wording of a question that I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to do something that's probably going to end up with me probably making a new character.
Okay, so looking around, you actually the sort of friendliest looking individual seems to be the cleric lady who has just escaped from the gnome. So while Sam's trapped talking to the gnome, young cleric Molass sort of intercepts you almost as you're looking around for someone to talk to, and introduces herself as Sandra Quinn.
Medicine woman.
Yes.
Priestess of Besmara, the pirate queen, actually. Do you follow her?
Yeah, I'll follow her.
Help me.
He follows anybody. That's why I get him on the pirate ship.
Looks like the captain gave you a nasty lock there. Perhaps I can do something about that. And she mutters under her breath a few words and lays a glowing hand upon you, and you heal 9 points of damage.
Ooh, I'm stronger than I was when I started this day.
You're back to full at the least. Now I know you guys are pretty much in the same boat as me. I figure if we stick together, we might. Sorry,
pun intended.
But I figure if we stick together, we might survive this voyage. And if we don't get on the captain's wrong side too much, then maybe we can drop ship at another port and find a slightly better way to earn our wage and appease her good lady of monsters another way. Now your short friend over there who's keeping Conqueror entertained, I happen to convince Grok that, and she surreptitiously from under her jacket pulls out a small leather tool case, that these were cursed, and it would probably be a good idea if Grok got them off her hands. So if you can see these back to your friend, I think she'll probably appreciate having them back, and she gives you a wink.
Okay.
That's the best way to deal with Grok. She's a tough nosed sort, but she is a hell of a superstitious one. And she's also pretty much as drunk as fish gets given half a chance. So I've been on the boat another week before you guys came on, so I had a chance to have a look around. But yeah, if we can help each other out, then I think the more of us looking out for each other, the more chance we've got of surviving Plugg and Harrigan and all their sorts.
How does sleeping on this ship work?
Oh, so they didn't even explain that to you, did they? So lower deck, where I guess you probably woke up this morning, the hammocks are down there. Find yourself an unoccupied locker. Put your stuff that you want to keep safe in that, because if stuff goes missing from that, that's something you can actually complain to Master Plugg or is a Mate Scourge about. Scourge, you take, is the guy who rousted you up first thing this morning. He's the bosun.
That means that I was hoping that someone would tell me, "Oh, sleep wherever you want," and I was going to go and sleep in Plugg's bed.
Love boat.
She gives you a sort of quick nodding tour of the ship as well. So again, let's just bring that back up. So the poor the 4 cabins are shared by the officers. That's Plugg, Scourge, Crine, Longfarthing, and Quarn. And also, I believe Longfarthing has got an alchemical laboratory in there. She's some sort of wizard, it looks like. The aft cabin is the captain's, not but him and Colkey in there. And then down below, I guess you've already found, or your friends already found the galley. Watch out for Owlbear Hartson down there. I don't know if you've spotted him yet. He's Mr. Plugg's pet. He's a bit of a simple-minded chap, but built like 2 brick outhouses, so don't get on his wrong side, and watch it if Mr. Plugg suggests a friendly wrestling match. Yeah, lower decks is where we us swabs will bunk, and if you can, stay out the bilges, because I heard the spiders are something frightful down there.
Okay.
Cool. That you don't need to make an influence check because she is already helpful. So she is clearly out and on your side, and she comes across that way. Whereas the rest of you, for those influences, diplomacies, you're trying to sway people to be actually nice to you rather than just genuine and indifferent or outright hostile. So we've done Sam, we've done Ricky, we've done Chris. Adam.
I was going to go watch the game, although I have no money, and I bet I'll lose if I try and gamble, and that'll probably involve losing a limb or a tooth or something. I'm interested in seeing what this game is.
So you go over and see. So the greased skin game. Yep. It turns out to be a game called Hoglob. Where did I put my notes for that? There we are. I've now made too many notes. I can't even find my notes.
You're too prepared, Simon.
I'm too prepared. There we are. Right. Yes. So basically, everyone's taking turns to see how far they can hurl this sort of greased pigskin. Everyone's betting some money ahead of time, and whoever hurls it fastest in any given round takes the pot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that. You can try and get involved if you want.
I'm thinking, yeah, I'll have a go. I need to put a stake in there, though. Yes.
That seems to be the way, but you notice a few of the pirates are eyeing you appreciatively as you come up. In fact, there's another half elf in the group, and she's got black and white stripy hair, clearly dyed, but it very quickly explains why the other pirates are referring to her by the nickname Badger. And sort of
Simple folk pirates.
Yeah, if it's not a straightforward nickname, they don't want to know. But as sort of you sidle up and sort of watch, and she catches you, and whether mischievously or otherwise, she tosses a gold piece in, or a handful of silver pieces about the value of a gold piece, and goes, "He'll have a go. Go on and see what you can do. Come on, Swab."
Thank you.
Sorry,
I was just going to offer that when Ricky gets a hold of the gnome's hat, that I'd offer you the gnome's hat, but gold coin. Thank you very much. Okay.
Wouldn't be stealing the ship. Mr. Plugg takes unkindly to it. That's what old Jakes was keelhauled for. He's caught with his hands in one too many people's caught with his hands in one too many people's lockers. So
bear that in mind.
Be very careful about that sort of thing, unless you know you can get away with it. She gives you a sort of conspiratorial but not treacherous wink, and you're up to play the round. So everyone tosses in a gold piece or so, and if you could make a combat maneuver check, because again that's what this one requires.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so +1. Ooh, 19 +1.
Cool. And much to everyone's surprise, you are the winner of the first round. So you claim, there were 6 other people claimed, so you gained 7 gold pieces.
Yes.
Do you give Badger her gold piece back, or?
Sure. I don't want to be indebted.
Otherwise, you can see that's sort of counted well for her, and yes, you are spend a sort of pleasant few hours sort of throwing pig skins around the.
Good green.
Nice. Right. So that covers most of the sort of the early evening. A few of the pirates start heading for bed. If you guys want to try and do any extra actions overnight, then basically you can either do 1 or 2 additional actions. In order to do so, you'll make a Constitution check, difficulty 14 to take an additional action, or 18 to take 2. If you fail that check, you'll gain the fatigue condition for the next day because you've been up and doing stuff. You can still do the actions regardless of whether you pass or fail. And if you're already fatigued, that would make you exhausted, which is a bad thing and will make doing stuff quite tricky the following day.
Right. I think I'll retire to my luxurious sack.
Is anyone else fancying more things? Or
can I pass on Sam's thieves' tools?
Oh. And not to sound weird or anything, I'm a bit worried about this gnome guy who might try something. So I want to try and bunk with someone who looks like, or bunks close to someone who looks like quite intimidating.
No worries. So just heading back down to the main hold, then I'm assuming you're all turning in at that point then.
Yeah.
So the lower hold, there are 16 pillars supporting the deck above the spacious hold. And you can see the pirates are tying their hammocks between the wall and the pillar. So hooks on the wall and the pillar. The fore side of the hold has 2 hammocks already strung between the foremast and the stairs. And those 2 pirates who... Which ones are they? Yes, these look like pretty experienced pirates. One of whom you saw doing jobs for Scourge earlier on, and the other of whom you haven't yet been introduced to, but a human and yet another gnome. There's 3 gnomes aboard the ship. They're already ensconced at the forward end. They glare at you as you come down with open hostility. They do not look particularly pleased to see new people, and they're like, bunk down the aft, we don't want your sort up here. As you came down through the middle hold, you noticed where the foremast comes down through the middle deck, there was a man chained to that mast. Quite a long chain. It's not around his neck, it's just sort of an ankle chain. But yeah, as you came down, he was sort of chuckling quietly to himself and occasionally shouting random words. You take that to be Albert Hartson, and he does indeed look about 7 feet tall and muscled, twice enough for people.
Ricky,
Cool.
You should make friends with him next.
How about you make friends with him? You're the monk.
Just 2 seconds. I just need to check one thing that I didn't.
I think Ricky should definitely try and make friends with him and ask him for stuff as well. Just it seems to work so well.
Cool. While you're doing that, do you want to plug any upcoming things for the stream, Ricky? Just while I'm having a quick think of that, because I know we have guests on Monday, don't we?
Yeah, on Monday.
Yes. We've got guest artist Justin Castaneda, or Castaneda, I'm not sure how to say it.
We'll find out on Monday.
Yeah. On Monday. He's you can check out his work on Instagram when you were little. It's really cool stuff. He usually draws on cardboard, but he's also got some really other cool like children's illustrations and stuff like that. So that's what we've got on Monday. Next Wednesday we got the hobby stream as usual, and then the following Monday we have got the Ranger of Krieg, who is a miniature painter, cosplayer. So we've got something coming up for everyone, really. Miniature painting, cosplay, comics. So join us. Usually Monday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock. and then we might chuck in a magic game every so often as well, and some Pokemon. Chris had some good pulls today, I think. Made Kieran cry.
Did you pull a Kamau Coffers?
Yes, the first pack.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, take a picture quick.
Right.
And Mark wants us to play 40k. We could try and do that again. I don't know who wants to play. Si, do you want to play next time?
Yeah, we could well do. I mean, we might even try that big silly game that we've been talking about for a while. But although a skirmish game, I think will be faster to run. But we'll have a think and see if we can sort that out, because so it's not like we can actually run in-store events in the shop for another month or so. So we might as well use the upstairs for filming. Right. Okay. So back with it. Right. Yeah. So you guys settle down for the night, and the gentle rocking of the Wormwood as she sails across the sea lulls you off into uneasy sleep. You guys are sort of clustered together as a group. You notice that Sandra has pitched her hammock fairly near you as well.
I'm sleeping in a sock.
So overnight, you each lose your temporary modifier to charisma as the rum wears off. You can make a constitution check.
With or without the penalty?
With the penalty.
What was it?
-6.
Was it really?
No, mine.
How was yours -6?
Oh no, mine wasn't -6. I had a 2 in my -2 in my constitution, which takes me down to no modifier. So I rolled a 6.
Right, gotcha.
And I had -2.
So
the rum.
When you've put the -2 in your miscellaneous,
mm-hmm.
What's your normal constitution?
11 without with no modifier though.
Yeah, so you just straight roll the dice then.
Yeah. I thought I had
with the damage, so you got -1 total because it drops your constitution to 9, which gives you a -1 penalty.
14.
14, cool.
On my dice.
14, Sam.
So my constitution is normally a 9. I get a -1, so that make it 8. But I rolled a 20 on my dice.
Happy days. Okay,
so I think I'm good.
So all of you heal 1 point of constitution damage overnight. Those of you as were fatigued are no longer fatigued. Ricky, except Ricky, were you fatigued?
No,
you're not. Okay, so that's fine. You're feeling all a bit better by morning, but not entirely over the larger than usual quantity of rum that you've imbibed. And yes, the next day dawns bright and early, with Scourge, the bosun, ringing the bell for the morning assignments, and you guys get to choose what your action for the day is going to be, and then find out what your tasks are. So, Reya, rolling entirely the wrong dice for that. Mr. the Rigger, Ricky, Asemarsh is going to be sent up into the upper riggings. There's going to be a lot of climbing and then more work on the ropes for you. So what's your action for the day planning to be? Are you going to work diligently? Are you going to try and influence some of the shipmates you're around? Are you going to try and explore an area of the ship while you're up and about? Are you going to sneak off to the shop again? Or are you going to take more time exploring and shirk your duties somewhat?
I'm going to do my job and maybe chat to the people around me about how do I report a theft.
He's determined to get someone killed, Holt.
Yeah, the captain, he stole my stuff.
Radio. Okay.
I'm a mutiny already.
Radio. Ricky.
Yeah, mutant eel. Let's do a mutant eel.
So, can I get 3 difficulty 10 climb checks, if you please?
I failed that one, I think.
What did you fail by?
Oh no, I didn't. I got 12.
12. Yeah.
I thought I was just rolling a straight strength.
Yeah, no,
but I'm not.
Yep.
I got 12, 14, and 16. So
Okay. So you're up in the ropes with no problem, and then difficulty 10, professional sailor or straight dex check for your days working in the ropes.
6.
Okay. So you are a bit more of a liability up high, whether it's just because you're unused to the thing.
Hangover.
And so you are working with who is up with you today? So Ratline the Halfling and also Conkerbar the gnome, as well as a female human who you've not yet been introduced to yourself, but who you've noticed has never worn shoes since the time you've seen her on board. And she goes by the name of Toppins. She seems to be the senior of the crew currently up in the
Say
riggings with you.
toppings then.
Toppins without G, like Portsmouth say it. So you're chatting away. Who you predominantly converse with? Do you want to direct most of your chat at Toppins or at Ratline?
Toppins. Hey baby, want to kill all the humans together?
Right. Give us an influence check. A diplomacy check then.
Okay, diplomacy. Yeah. I should have done this last night. I was charismatic last night. 15.
15. Okay, so you spend the shift sort of chatting with Toppins. I assume you're not suggesting outright mutiny or murdering all the crew.
No.
but yeah, so basically, you seem to, despite your initial clumsiness and the fact that both her and Ratline are sort of having to show you more than they're actually doing, you seem to sort of get off on the right foot with her, and she basically advises you to get it out of your head that you can report the captain for anything. He is functionally God on this ship, and if you've got a grudge to pick with him, you might as well pick a fight with a shark, because that's where you'll
I'm
end
gonna fight
up.
the shark then.
First.
She sort of says that as far as she can tell, and she's been on the Wormwood for over a year, basically there are two sorts of pirates aboard the ship: those that are just looking to survive, and those are looking to make themselves very useful to Mr. Plugg and his little coterie of bootlickers, as she refers to them. She is quite clearly in the first camp, the just wanting to survive and make as much loot as possible.
Am I allowed to punch him?
I wouldn't do, as he's the first mate on the ship, and the captain probably wouldn't take kindly to it. Plus, he's the one who administers the punishments for the captain. He's a bit of a sadist. But
if I break his hands, he can't punish me.
You'd be welcome to try, she says. But I wouldn't fancy. He's a well versed with the whip he carries around, and I don't think would be best convincing mutiny. While the captain was a bit serious about not wanting to lose more crew than he can spare, I don't doubt they'd hang you from the yardarm or keel haul you for such outright shenanigans. If you've got an axe to grind it subtly, my friend, she says.
It's a problem. Yep. They took my axe off me.
Oh well, you'll be wanting to talk to Grok about that. I'm sure you can find something you can trade with her. Cool. So, Chris, go around this way this time. What's your job for the day? Surprisingly, Fishguts isn't as drunk as he was yesterday, and seems to have the cookie in hand by the sort of start of the thing. But he does tell you that they need more fish for the evening meal. So roots around, tips a couple of barrels over, finds a fishing rod from behind a thing, and hands that to you.
Give it to a gnome. Give it to a gnome.
That's your job. Go and catch us some fish off the stern.
Chris is doing Animal Crossing.
So again, your options for the day: you can work diligently, which will help you with your task. You can try and influence some of the crew that you come into contact with. You can sneak about and explore things while doing your job. You can skive off a little bit and go and see the quartermaster, or you can skive off a lot and try and explore a little more.
So I'm 60 foot up. Sam and Adam are like in the village doing like suckers work, and Chris gets to go fishing. He's going to be one of Butt Plug's men, isn't he?
Just trying to please everybody, trying to catch some fish, get on the good side,
okay,
and try and get my hammer.
So you're working diligently, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. No worries. So for yourself then,
Working.
I need a difficulty 10 profession fisherman or a survival check, and you have a +4 bonus to the check for working diligently.
Oh, survival. 16 plus that bonus.
Nice. Yeah, you catch a few good ones and a nice little bucket full of tiddlers as well. And Croup, sorry, I keep calling him Croup. He because he's a bit more sober today. He actually tells you that although everyone on the ship calls him fish guts because that's what they say my cooking tastes like. My name's actually Ambrose Croup, but fish guts is fine. It's the only thing I ever answer to for the rest of them. Yeah, he's pretty well pleased with it and gives you a slug of the rum as he's cooking, and it's not enough to count as the evening fashions, but he's definitely in your corner. You think he's a good with you.
I reckon he's called fish guts because he by the time he gets around to cooking them, he accidentally puts the guts in the cooker and just chucks the fish out.
Might well be. So Adam,
in steel flavors.
You are told to be the runner today, so you are carrying messages from one part of the ship to another on the deck. You will come into contact with a whole pile of people, some of whom speak to you more politely, but for starters, we're going to need a difficulty 10 acrobatics check out you to avoid any embarrassing mishaps as you hay your way around a ship you don't really know your way around.
Can I add my elven reflexes onto this as well, just to make it extra? I've already got like a 9 skill anyway.
Your elven reflexes will already be added into your skill.
Oh yes, that's why it's 9. I can't count. 22.
Cool. So yeah, you swing lively to it, and you're passing messages between Mr. Plugg and Riaris Crine, who seems to be the master gunner for the ship. Incidentally, the ship, she's down in the mid deck inspecting the ship's catapult, which is currently stowed, and you notice there's 2 or 3 ballista stowed in the forehold as well. And then her and Kipper, who is the grumpy pirate you saw in the below hold, sort of camped up at the front, who seems to be her mate. So they're carrying out an inventory of supplies. You're running back and forth between them, checking readiness and supplies and passing tallies and things. Yeah, what's your action for the day? They keep you pretty busy, but you still got the option to work diligently or to try and influence one of the many people you're going to have a chance to speak to, whether those group or whether other members of the crew that you fancy a chat to. You can try and explore somewhere as you're running around, or if you need the map again to help you with that, there's that for a second. If I drag it over this way, then we can still see you for a moment.
Yeah. I'm torn between speaking to people and checking out what's in stores, because I'm guessing our stuff will be there, but also there may be interesting stuff to buy for my shiny 6 gold pieces.
Yep.
I'll play it safe. I'll chat to some interesting people, try and get some goss.
Okay. Anyone particular that you've encountered so far that you want to try and catch a chat with, or?
See if I can meet up with the cleric. I'm guessing I saw. Maybe did we speak when we were in our bunks last night? Do I know?
She's introduced herself to all of you now, and as I say, sort of bunked as a group with you guys. So yeah, her name's Sandra Quinn, and she's
Medicine
also
woman.
swabbing, but she is literally swabbing the decks today.
Look at me, I'm Sandra Quinn. I know the rest of the song. I've seen Grease like twice. I'll speak to Sandra then, just to see if I can get any more heads up about the stuff.
Okay, no worries. Before you do, can I get a difficulty 10 Constitution check out of you, because you are running around like a blue-bottomed bug, which means you may well end up fatigued by the end of the day with the way they're running you ragged.
15.
15.
You're
fine. Your training and the fact you're not in a sweatbox keeps you able to keep up with the pace. And yeah, you catch a few opportunities to speak to Sandra throughout the day. She repeats her sort of suggestion to you that Grok's superstition might be played on if you're trying to get back any of your things, like your orky friend seems to be keen to do. But the other thing that if you're looking to make friends amongst the crew, then that halfling Rosie points over at the swearing halfling from earlier, who's busy coiling some ropes. I hear she plays the lute, but Grok's got it locked up in with the rest of the captain's booty, and we all know that Grok will sell anything, providing it's not something that's specifically actually the captain's. And from what I hear, most of his actual booty is probably locked in his cabin. So yeah, if you
his axe.
if you were perhaps able to convince Grok to give that back to her, I heard they had quite a fight when Rosie came aboard and she stormed in demanding her loot back. So there's no way she's getting it back out of Grok. But yeah, if you could intercede on her behalf, then the evenings might be a bit more pleasant, because we'd actually have someone who could play worth a damn. And I think she'd probably thank you for it.
I will bear that in mind. I'm just checking if I play music.
And then Sam, so your task for the day is repair work. So you are tasked with a couple of the other.
Bye, Mark.
Bye.
Mark.
Yeah, you're tasked along with a couple of the other swabs to work with Happily Quan, who is both the ship's surgeon and carpenter. And he has you guys sort of fetching and carrying bits of wood and things as he makes repairs to various little bits and bobs around the ship that need fixed up. So can I have a difficulty 10 profession sailor or dexterity check out of you? And before you make that, decide what you want to do for your action, because that will modify your check.
Sorry, what did he want me to do again?
So he's getting you to help with repairs, but it's basically scut work and lifting and carrying, and hold this here while I nail things. Quan's quite a gruff old human. Talks to you and the other swabs as if you are well below him, but is clearly an experienced hand of the seas. He's not looking to brook many arguments, it looks like.
Well, if he's looking like I'm below him, I'm definitely well below him for a person my stature. What was it? Dex or strength, was it, you said?
It's Dex or profession sailor.
I don't have profession sailor, so it's going to be definitely the Dex thing I'm going to have to do. I think trying to work diligently just to try and not exactly sucker up, but be on people's good sides, basically.
Okay, no problem. So you can have a +4 bonus to the task because you are concentrating on your work and not goofing off. So give us your difficulty 10 check.
So is it plus 4 on top of whatever modifier, is it?
+4 plus your dex modifier.
Oh, wow. Okay. 24? No, 25.
Yep, you comport yourself admirably, and Quan doesn't have much cause to shout at you. However, poor Rosie, who is also on the repair detail as well. Actually, no, sorry, I tell a lie. The human with the big scar, who you discover his name is Cog. He's one of the new recruits as well. He catches a tongue lashing from Quan, goes to raise a fist to him. At which point Plugg comes along and says, "Cog, you'll be up before the captain's mast this evening. There's a rope bash coming your way. You don't even think about striking an officer." At which point you can see sort of the red mist starting, and then Cog clearly sort of thinks better of it, spits over the rail, and sort of storms away. "That's 2 rope bashes," calls Plugg. Yeah, that's yeah. Ricky, the thing I forgot to mention to you, you were asking your people that you were talking to about how to report a theft. So basically, you would need to speak to the bosun or the first mate. So Scourge or Plugg.
But they've told me not to.
No, the captain's told you not to. Scourge and Plugg have not prohibited you from speaking.
No, but the people I was talking to told me not to.
They did tell you not to report the captain for stealing your stuff because, like, don't be daft, man, is the effect of their things. Okay, so yeah, the day sort of progresses in much the same way as the previous day. The weather on this day is fair. And yeah, you get through the day with not too much problem. However, the problems kick in when the bell for the bloody hour rings. Let's see, who did the problems happen to? Adam, the problems happen to you.
Oh, joy. I wasn't eating dice then, I was eating a biscuit. Really hungry.
Okay, so
I've got a cunning plan to get my axe back.
So Adam, as the bell rings, you're currently on the middle deck, just having finished passing your last message of the day. When you see that there are 4 pirates blocking your way to the hatch leading up as you're about to head up. So there are a human who's fat and bald.
Help. There we go.
A somewhat yellowish hued, in a sort of more jaundiced than anything else way, half-orc. Both those were male. A female human who wears some frankly scandalous clothing, and the stiletto-carrying lass from the rigging that you'd seen Ricky working with the day before. In a hurry, says the stiletto carrier, who you've heard someone refer to as Slippery Sill.
Okay.
And she pushes you in the chest.
That's not nice. Yes, I am in a hurry. Sorry, could I get past? I'm just on my way to the bloody hour.
So the fat guy again, who you've clocked sight of before talking to Mr. Plugg, chuckles and says, "Yeah, that's Sill. He's talking back to his betters. What do you say, Jape? Should we teach him a lesson?" Jape grunts, and as he does, you notice that his tongue's been cut out. So the half-orc is a non-elective mute, but he grins a toothy grin and swings a fist at you. Can you roll for initiative, if you please?
Yes.
Where's the rest of you at this point? Chris, you are
13.
on this deck, but just coming up. Sam, you are on the main deck already, so you're probably on your way to the bloody hour, unless you are particularly listening out. And Ricky, you're in the rigging and on your way down.
I just scream really, really loudly.
What was
I'm trying to get my
Adam?
biscuit.
What was your total, Adam?
It was 13 initiatives. 2, is it?
Yeah, so 13 plus the 2. What's your dexterity bonus? Because you have drawn with pirates.
Sorry, I've got a bunch of screens in my way. My dexterity is 16 plus 3 mod.
Cool. Okay, you act first, as you can see that Jaundice Jape is coming in swinging. What do you want to do?
Okay. Dodge out the way and try and get up the stairs.
Okay.
If I'm capable.
They are around you in a group. So if you try and just dodge away from them, you can make an acrobatics check to try and tumble past them.
Okay.
Which is going to be difficulty 17. If you succeed, you'll start moving away from them and get to the stairs. If you don't, each of them is going to get a free swing as you sort of try and dance through them ineffectually.
I'm still going to try for that, because otherwise I'm going to have 4 people smashing my head in.
Okay, give us
and stabby Susie.
Give us a
You
swing.
got double strike and stuff, haven't you?
I think that's with weapons, is it? Or is it with
no, flurry of blows for monkey is unarmed. You're basically probably the best character for this to happen to, because you are perhaps the punchiest without
maybe
weapons.
I should.
But
maybe I should.
entirely
actually,
up to you how you want to.
No, maybe I'll go for them then. Maybe I'll
violence is always the answer.
But
yes.
Take your own choice for it rather than the others. But
no, I hadn't even paid attention. I'd forgotten about the flurry of blows and things like that. And it would probably set a good example, I guess, in a bizarre way. In my own maybe slightly warped moralistic view, I think these people need probably some straightening out. I think of that in a split second. Okay. I will go for.
Who are you attacking then? You've got 4 facing you. You've got the fat guy who is called Phipps. You've got Jaundice Jape. You've got Aretta, who is the scandalously clad lady, and you've got Syl, who is the slightly more stabby looking, but none of them have weapons drawn currently.
I will go for the bald dude.
Okay.
He seems to be the ringleader.
No problem. Give us an attack roll then, if you please. And are you using your flurry of blows feat to attack twice, or are you just...
Yes.
Cool. So in fact, give us 2 attack rolls then.
Together or
if you I'm just
2 20s. I mean, 20s, 2 6s.
Yeah,
even.
No, 2d20s first, because you need your attack rolls first. So you'll add 2 to each result. So unarmed flurry.
18 and 12. That's with a 2 on each.
Cool. You step inside. So Phipps is clearly expecting you to get walloped by Jake, and he's not quite got his hands up as you get in, and you land both blows solidly on him. Give us a set of damage rolls, in your place. 2d6 plus 2 in total.
2d6s. A 6 and a 2.
Cool. You give him a good solid wallop. He staggers back. And then the other 3 come swinging in. What's your armor class, Adam?
My armor class is 15.
Cool. So
you got +3 for dexterity as well.
Yeah, that's included in the. Or should let's have a quick look. Yeah, that's included in. So your total is 15, and that's made up with your dexterity plus, and your wisdom bonus because of your monk class.
I couldn't work it out last time when we put it together. See it now.
Cool. Right. So yeah, your quick attack throws Phipps off balance, and his swing at you fails to connect. You manage to sort of, as you're battering him, swing him into Jape's way, and the Half-Orc misses you. However, the 2 piratical ladies do clonk you good, and you feel a vicious kick in the kidneys from one of them. You're not sure who, which deals you 3 points of damage.
Oh, it's always women that hurt me the most.
And then
Aww.
you take a further 2 points of damage, but all of these damages are non-lethal, by the way. You, as a monk, have a choice to deal lethal or non-lethal damage when you strike, because you are more trained in the art of fisticuffs and other such things.
Yeah.
So, so it depends whether you're trying to kill them or just trying to rough them up. So yeah, another 2 points of damage from the from Syl giving you a punch in the side of the head as you're coming in. Round the second.
So that 3 plus 2 plus 3?
No, just total of 2 plus 3, so total of 5. Non-lethal.
Down to 3 points of health now, guys. I'll be taking a nap in a moment. You better come sniff out trouble.
At this point, Chris, can you give us a perception check?
Better not be like a cooking check.
No, 11.
Okay. Yeah, you can hear the sounds of a scuffle going on from out in the hall. You notice that Fishguts is taking his time tidying up his utensils in a bit more of a none of my business sort of method, even though the bell's gone. What do you want to do?
Is anything nearby? So I can reach knife, mallet, anything.
Cleavers and such like quite happily to hand.
Yeah. So I grab a cleaver and go out.
Okay.
Just confront. That might threaten them to stop.
Give us a initiative check.
Initiative.
And that'll tell us when you join the roll.
10.
10. Okay, so you're going to enter at the end of this round then. Adam, you're up next.
I guess I should probably carry on with the flurry of blow, the unarmed flurry of blows. Really.
Okay, who are you attacking?
Best chance. I guess big old Fred again, ball dude.
Okay, you can split your attacks as well if you want to.
Okay.
But yeah, entirely up to you. Sort of how you do it. You've got 2 attacks, and you don't have to because you are sort of very well trained in.
Can I use some sort of perception to work out who my biggest threat is?
They all seem on a par. They're all. I mean, if you wanted to hazard a guess, if they had their weapons out, probably Syl, because she looks like she'd stab you rather than look at you. But you get the impression that they're just trying to rough you up quite a lot rather than necessarily out to kill you.
Okay.
So yeah. If anything you think Phipps, you might have cowed him a bit by getting in on him so quickly. So your instincts are saying hit someone else, try and spread the fear almost.
Spread the bruises. All right, I'll take on Syl then.
Okay.
Give her a punch in the chops. Flurry of blows again.
Yep.
Let's try my booger and that one. Which is completely terrible. Ooh, no, plus 2 as well, right?
Yep.
So 15 plus 2 and 17 plus 2, so 19 and 17.
Okay, and give us your damage rolls then, if you please. Both those strikes land home.
These are nice weighted dice.
Weighted dice?
He's admitted cheating.
I mean, like they're lighter than they're the ones in the big box you sell.
Oh yeah.
Oops.
Solid.
They're really light, but they roll really well.
Gotcha. I don't sell weighted dice.
No, it doesn't sell weighted dice. I mean, they're light dice. I've got 6 and a 4.
Cool. Okay, so spinning on.
Are you sure they're not weighted?
I can eat them and find out.
So 6 and a 4, is that including the +1 on each or was that just your roll?
He's rolled D6s instead of D20s for his attack round.
I rolled my D20s first, and then I got to do 6s for
damage.
For my flurries.
So you add 1 point to each of those rolls because.
Oh, sorry, 7 and 5 then.
So a total of 12. Okay, so yeah, you sort of figuring that she's probably the hardest threat. You snap a kick backwards and it catches her under the chin, and as she's going back, you sweep her leg, and you hear meaty crack as she hits her head on the deck on the way down, and she is just out for the count. The other two are just like, oh. Jape still comes in swinging. Phipps backs off, and what's her name? Aretta is like, I'm not being late for Captain's Mast for this. 13. Your arm class was 15. You said. Yeah. You easily parry Phipps's sort of clumsy strike, and you sort of, although battered, you're sort of very much doing the Bruce Lee, wiping the blood off and ready for some more. At which point, Chris, you come herring around the corner with Cleaver out, and Jape sort of gives a look. He's oh, all right, and I know. In fact, he doesn't say anything because his tongue's been cut out.
It's a miracle his tongue regrew.
So yeah, he gives you a really filthy look and heads up the stairs as well. So you are left with a unconscious Syl on the floor. As the sounds of combat die down, Fishguts comes past, drinking and carefully ignoring whatever's going on there. And you can hear, Ricky, you're down on the deck now. Sam, you're up with the rest of the crew. But yeah, so what do you two want to do with the unconscious Syl?
We want to make interesting allies, I guess, and maybe rouse her just so she doesn't get keelhauled. Show the better side of Vala. Maybe we'll pick her up.
So you don't want to search her for gold, steal whatever's on her. She's unconscious. She won't know how it's gone.
Wow.
Guy with no tongue, done it.
I don't want to be any part of this. I think it's morally wrong. Just
Chris,
letting you know.
I want to search her to see if she's got anything on her that could be used.
So, in addition to the 2 stilettos, she has a sap, so Kosh, and a nice little selection of coins in a pouch at her waist. Just to find exactly.
Novelty spoons.
Novelty spoons. In fact, no, I apologise. She doesn't have
anything
coins in a pouch. She has a key to one of the lockers.
Oh.
I would like to take a key.
Okay. Are you trying to do it without Adam seeing, or are you making it obvious that you're taking it?
Without Adam seeing.
Okay, if you can give me a sleight of hand check, and Adam, if you can give me a perception check, and then we'll see how much plausible deniability
And
Adam
Adam
has.
give a look away check.
12.
4.
Okay, yeah, you
perception.
Yep. Yeah. You palm the key without Adam noticing, and you now have Syl's locker key. If you make a note of that.
Adam had to find his perception before he could check his perception. So.
Right, so you three bundle your way up on. Well, you two supporting the groggy, just sort of vaguely coming around Syl up onto deck, and already there, the Mr. Plugg is sort of there about to hand out the day's sentences. You, the Half-Orc, I've heard your work was shoddy up in the rigging today. Can Sam and Ricky make a perception check, if you please?
$18.
Right, so perception 11 plus. Uh, 13.
Okay, Ricky, as you're called forward, you notice that Concobar is smirking to himself. Mr. Plugg sort of demands you march forward. For shoddy work, 1 rope bash. He gestures the whipping pole at the front and put your hands on there.
Okay, I just do it this time.
Okay. He gives a
You always
hefty
can
swing
complain
with
to the captain afterwards.
basically a tarred rope. You take 1 point non-lethal damage and he whacks you painfully in the back of the legs with it. Dismissed. And then he looks around and notices you three coming. What's this? Fraternising amongst the crew? And late for Captain's mast as well. I'll have none of this. 3 lashes, the lot of you. And you guys find yourself dragged forward by other members of the crew. And each set up against the whipping post.
The wishing post.
Yeah, can I go to the wishing post?
I like the sound of the wishing post better.
I wish this doesn't hurt too much. Damn it, I've wasted my wish.
Include me, Si, as well. I thought I was already up there.
No, not you. You're on deck already. No, just Adam, Chris, and Sil.
Right.
Bill's gonna have a nasty surprise when she wakes up after a beating to another beating.
Hey, we did you a favour. We brought you up on deck for the captain's mast. We were late, so you're getting a beating. We brought you to a beating.
Chris, you are punished first, and Scourge lashes you with his whip. You take 5 points non-lethal.
Yep.
Ow. Adam, you are lashed next. You take 4 points non-lethal.
That's past my threshold,
Cool.
so
So yeah, and given the brawl you've had, you sink to your knees under the pain and briefly pass out.
Now they're going to think I'm a wimp.
And yep, you.
This is what happens if you beat up women, people. Don't do it. All right.
Yeah, so the evening meal is served. Grog is passed round. Adam, you come to with Sandra tending to your wounds, and you notice that she has cast a spell, and you regain 8 hit points. So most of your non-lethal damage is healed by clerically magic.
Because I was on 3,
Yep.
and then you gave me 4. Do I just
you're
knock
down
off
to
1?
0 because you became unconscious and you can't go into negative on non-lethal, so you go back up to 8 from 0.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
That's my standard. So
yeah, there we are. So back to max. She's pretty good on her rolls. Fair play. And yes, you are presented with your rum ration as well as a rather nice fish dinner.
okay, which part of the fish? The guts?
No, actually, he's done a reasonable job filleting it out, and there's plenty to go around. You can hear some surprise from some of the crew, and Chris, you catch a couple of sort of not admiring, but at least grateful glances coming your way from a few of the crew who've been here a bit longer. Appreciate that.
At least this is digestible now.
Yeah. At least it's not a note on the heads afterwards. Yeah, so that's probably a good place to leave it for this evening, because we are getting on a bit late, and I don't want to get too far ahead and give everyone sort of a thing to get back into it. So yeah, we'll deal with your day 2 nighttime activities next week's session, which is 2 weeks' time. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed the initial session. It's a bit of an interesting setup, and if any of you've got any questions or anything you want to sort of go over, collar me between now and next session, so we can do the sort of the boring admin bits off camera.
I got my my backpack sheet, and I kept it there all night, thinking, "Oh, we'll get it back soon." And I've got extensive lists of weights and costs and everything, just so I could prove that I didn't need it.
Yeah. You'll have to make more use of the time in the day to sneak off to Grok's shop if you're wanting your stuff back, or perhaps get more involved in the gambling, or see what's in Sil's locker if you're feeling brave, or find other things loose about the ship that perhaps you might be able to convince Grok to buy.
Who's
off
the
you.
loosest?
Clearly, Aretta. You've not had a chance to talk to her, but yes. So we will close out there. I hope everyone's enjoyed watching the shenanigans. And
yes, thank you for watching, people.
No problem. We will resume
just remember, you can join us on Discord. The link is just in the chat. You can follow us on like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just look for the Swansea Comic and Gaming Convention, and you should find us. And please subscribe to our YouTube. We want to have YouTube/SCGC rather than YouTube/ blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So
It's good for you. It's good
tell all
for
your
us.
friends.
Yeah.
Cool. And that is us done for this evening. Thank you very much, folks, and good night.